let's kick it off. What do you see from the Niners D-line this year?
Man, so basically it all starts up front. I said when DeForest Buckner was traded, it was the wrong move to make. A lot of people gave me backlash and crap for it, but at the end of the day, we're seeing what's going on. He's the one that took on the double teams. He was playing the 3-tech and he was getting consistent pressure. One thing that you don't realize, or people don't realize from a fan perspective, is you don't see exactly how hard it is to take on the double team and still make plays at or near the line of scrimmage. It's just not an easy job for anyone to do. But when you're getting paid $85 million and you don't have players like Nick Bosa on the edges taking pressure off you and you're getting one-on-one looks and you're still not getting it done this year. Last year, Arik Armstead did get it done, but this year he's not. And what people, again, from a fan's perspective, it's all about being a good overall player, Grant, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone talks about the pass rush, but no one talks about the run support. Mm-hmm. And it does a pass rush or defense no good if you can't get to third down anyway. So what good is the pass rush? So if you're deficient in your run game, are you really a good overall football player? Last year in my grading system, Arik Armstead led the team with 34 missed tackles. 34 missed assignments and maintaining gap integrity or staying the edge. This year, through 9 games, he has 17. And he leads the team again. So when you take that into account, and people can call me an Arik Armstead hater, no, I'm just real. I keep it real. Here's the thing that I look at. I have all this algorithm right here, all these analytics. Last year, let's go back to 2019. Last year, DeForest Buckner only had 9 missed assignments in run support. DJ Jones had 9 in run support, which is really, really good. This year, DJ Jones only has 5 through 9 games. So if you do the math, that's right on par where he was last year. As for Armstead, that's where he was last year in run support. So when you take 2 and 2 together, you can kind of gauge what the kind of player you're getting with Arik Armstead.
He considers himself the best run defending D end in the league. He's not. He's not assignment sound. He cannot contain quarterbacks in the pocket, any of them. He constantly is like lunging and diving at their feet and giving up scramble lanes. I see that every week. And then on top of that, 1.5 sacks this season. I mean, what? Does it look like he's reverted to the player he always was? Was last year like a contract year mirage?
Yeah, I think he was I look at it like this. I gave him constructive criticism through the first 4 years. Yep. It's kind of like Texas Hold'em in poker. I got rivered. In his contract year, on his 5th-year option, he balled out of control. But then he reverted back to being the same old player we thought he was for the first 4 years. So technically, is he motivated by only money? I mean, he got paid, and now what? And
who knows?
Now he's probably going to come back at us with some personal attacks after hearing this or watching this, and it's just not going to be we're not here to personally attack him. We're just giving him constructive criticisms because he does have the potential to be good, but you got to take it. At 6'7", 315 pounds, you're getting one-on-one looks this year. Like you're getting one-on-one looks. If you look at the Packers game, right? If you look at the Packers game, he was double teamed only twice in that game. Twice.
Yep.
So it's not like he's not winning his one-on-one battles. He's getting one-on-one looks.
And a lot of times when these teams double him, like Seattle, it's with 2 tight ends, not even an offensive lineman. And he got a defensive holding penalty against Seattle when he was doubled by 2 tight ends. He grabbed Will Disley and wouldn't let him go. It's like, nice, Arik. Way to go. They have no respect for you putting those 2 tight ends on you, and you can't make them pay.
Right. And another thing I want to point out is we hear all these things about how Robert Saleh talks about Arik Armstead's film study. Well, if he really was doing his film study, I'm not saying he's not, but if he really was looking into that.
Good job, yeah.
There was a play against the Los Angeles Rams where Cooper Kupp sealed him, and it was based on the personnel and distance and formation. I knew right away that was going to happen, and he got sealed off by Cooper Kupp.
Not good. All 189 pounds of Cooper Kupp. Yeah. What I've seen from Arik Armstead throughout the years is he's one of the most powerful defensive linemen I've ever seen. He can forklift people. He did it as a rookie. But that's not football. It's not a one-on-one sport. You're not just fighting the guy in front of you. It's not sumo wrestling. At a certain point, you got to disengage from the blocker and make the play. And for the first 4 seasons of his career, he had no interest. He would just get caught up fighting the guy in front of him and let the ball carrier get past him, let the quarterback get past him, not make the sack, give up contain, all of that. And then after the initial effort in the play, I never saw a second effort. Like the ball's over there, now run to it. And that's the thing you saw from DeForest Buckner every snap. He was the hardest working player on the field. So Armstead last year, to my surprise, to our surprise, I thought was actually the hardest working player on the team. Like every game, that guy had his hair on fire, and it's like, wow, either he's turned a corner or he really, 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 really wants that $75 million contract. I don't know what it was, but I haven't seen the same guy this year.
Yeah, Armstead balled out of control last year in terms of the pass rush, but
Effort,
his run support is where I see
True.
the problem lies.
True.
Yeah, he can be a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL, and those don't grow on trees. So give it to Armstead last year for that outstanding year, but then he reverted back this year to being a non-existent pass rusher. So it's like you cannot say, and fans cannot say, oh, it's the injuries to Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner or leaving. It's the injuries to Solomon Thomas who's out. That's excuses. You get paying $85 million to get it done. If you call yourself a Pro Bowl player and you're upset about not making the Pro Bowl, and get it done with no Pro Bowl talent around you, because that's what Pro Bowlers do. That's what Geno Atkins does. That's what Grady Jarrett does. That's what Brandon Graham does with Fletcher Cox in the middle. But I mean, if you look at someone who is on the edge, that's what he does. You got to look at players from all 32 NFL teams and be like, okay, if you want to be call yourself a Pro Bowl player, that's great. But then what are you comparing that gauge, and what are you comparing yourself to in terms of being on that elite level? I just don't see it.
Right. Now, Armstead was great last year when he was surrounded by Buckner, Bosa, and Ford. He was basically the fourth threat on that line. I don't think Armstead, and he's great as a fourth rusher. If he's your fourth best pass rusher, you're an all-time great defense. But I don't think if he's the best pass rusher you have a terrible pass rush. And then you compare that to the Colts. I mean, really, what other pass rusher do they have besides DeForest Buckner? Like no one. And so Buckner's having a tough time putting up numbers, but he makes everyone else better. They have the number one defense in the league right now. I mean, Arik Armstead doesn't make anyone else better. He needs other people to make him better.
Exactly. You hit it right on the nail. DeForest Buckner makes people better. Arik Armstead does not. And that's not a knock on Arik Armstead. There's very few people who are DeForest Buckner's level. And
that's why you re-signed Buckner instead of saying, well, let me get someone who's kind of like Buckner for like $8 million less.